your opinion of Super Bowl 57 overall. What do you got for me on that?
Man, there was a moment, Rich, in the fourth quarter where I thought to myself, this is the greatest Super Bowl of all time, right? And the way it ended was certainly hard to stomach, especially for Eagles fans. And, for people just objectively watching the game, I know initially, my reaction was maybe I didn't see an angle. Maybe Greg Olsen didn't see an angle because he had a hand in talking me into being outraged as I drove home. And, I still think relative to the way the rest of the game was called, that penalty was a bit ticky-tack. But by the letter of the law and certainly seeing the freeze frame of the jersey being pulled and more than anything hearing James Bradbury talking in detail about, hey, I gave it a tug to try to gain momentum, to pull myself back out to run with the wheel route. It's not just the turning of was it Juju, but it's also, and they missed one on Juju earlier in the game. It's the using him to slingshot and catch up. And, a lot of people seem to be confused. Inside 5 yards, you got pass interference rules, and then you have, uncatchable balls. But none of that applied to this play. And having heard, James Bradbury, who deserves a lot of credit for having the fortitude to admit that, and then Nick Sirianni, who lost with class and said, hey, that's not the reason we lost the game. Jason Kelsey, the whole thing. It made it a little bit easier to stomach, and it was still one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. And I think the offensive lines deserve a lot of credit for that because both quarterbacks were clean, and you were able to see them work their magic. I mean, they were both sensational. Jalen Hurts wins that game. He's the MVP. So it was a great game, but in the end, the two things that I worried about kind of played out. It was Patrick Mahomes' greatness, and it was Andy Reid, not only with a bye week, but with 30 minutes to kind of come up with the first 15 and a game plan for the second half, and to come out there and run the football and protect Mahomes. Obviously, the stuff with the motion at the end of the game, which I'm sure we'll talk about, was huge. Andy Heck deserves a lot of credit. He's the run game coordinator in Kansas City. He was the coach that, I've known him since he recruited me at UVA. He coached my brother Kyle. He's a hell of a coach. They won that thing up front.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.